93. Harley engines shattered the silence of a Tuesday night in Riverside, California. Two rival motorcycle clubs, sworn enemies for over a decade, were about to collide in a warehouse that reeked of diesel and terror. What they found inside wasn't just one kidnapped girl. It was two. And the truth behind those blindfolds would ignite the most brutal 24 hours this desert town had ever seen. But before blood spilled, before brothers turned into allies, one father had to make a phone call that would change everything. Before we ride into this story, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because you're about to witness a true tale of betrayal, brotherhood, and redemption that'll keep you on the edge of your seat for the next 2 hours. Drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from so I can see how far this story travels. Now let's get into it. Ray Brenner's wrench hit the concrete at 9:47 p.m. He didn't pick it up. His phone sat on the workbench screen dark. No messages. No calls. Mia should have been home 3 hours ago. Ray pulled the phone toward him. 47th time checking. His daughter's contact photos stared back her gap-toothed smile from last summer, purple popsicle staining her lips. 12 years old. Straight-A student. Never missed curfew. Until tonight. 20 years as a combat medic taught Ray to stay calm when the world caught fire. But this wasn't Fallujah. This was Mia. His only reason for breathing after Sarah's cancer took her 4 years back. The phone vibrated. Unknown number. Ray's thumb froze over the screen. Something in his gut twisted that same feeling he got 3 seconds before mortars hit. He answered. Mia. Silence. Then a voice ran through a modulator, mechanical and cold. Ray Brenner. Iron Jackal's MC. Mechanic. Father. Ray's blood stopped moving. Who is this? Check your messages. The line died. His phone buzzed. A picture loaded. Mia sat on concrete wrists, zip-tied, blindfolded, mouth taped. Still wearing that purple unicorn hoodie she'd left in that morning. Ray's knees hit the floor. Another text. She's waiting. Come alone or she dies. GPS coordinates followed. Ray ran. His Harley fired up before his brain caught up with his body. He was 3 blocks away when the wrench kicked in the things Sarah used to say when he let emotion override tactics. Come alone. They wanted him isolated, vulnerable, dead. He pulled over and dialed. 2 rings. Ray! Duke Carver's voice could strip paint. Little late for... They got Mia. Silence. Where are you? 3rd and Maple. Duke, they sent a photo. She's tied up. Coordinates. They said alone or... Don't move. 2 minutes. Ray sat there staring at his daughter's face on that screen. She looked so small. Headlights appeared. Then more. Then the whole damn street lit up. 15 bikes. 20. 30. Duke pulled up beside him, killed his engine. 53 years old, gray beard in 3 braids, eyes that had seen men die in 100 different ways. Show me. Ray handed over the phone. Duke's jaw went tight as bridge cable. He looked up. Somebody just made the last mistake of their life. More bikes rolled in. Tank 6'4" hands like cinder blocks pulled up on Duke's left. What's the play? Duke passed him the phone. Tank looked at the photo. Something dark moved behind his eyes. We get the girl, Duke said. We find who took her. We end them. Coordinates, Tank asked. Old rail yard, Ray said. East Side Industrial. I know it. Smoke rolled up on a custom chopper. He'd been Ray's sponsor when Sarah died, and whiskey nearly killed him too. Whole district's been dead 5 years, perfect spot for a grab. Duke looked around. 80 bikes now. 85. They said alone, Ray said. What if they see us? What if... They won't touch her. Duke's voice cut clean. Because whoever took your daughter doesn't know they just started something they can't finish. They think they got one scared father. They're about to meet 93 brothers who'll burn this whole town down to bring her home. Ray looked around. Every Iron Jackal was there. Church 72 still riding a 47 knucklehead. Prospect Tommy 3 months patched white-knuckling his bars. 93 strong. Rules, Duke said, voice carrying. We don't know what we're riding into. Could be one guy, could be 50. We go quiet, we go smart. We don't leave without that girl. Anybody got problems? Silence. Smoke your point. Tank Reaper take rear. 3 groups. Surround the building, cut exits. Ray, you're with me. We go in first. Ray nodded. Fear was there chewing his guts, but it was locked down now, controlled. One more thing. Duke's eyes swept the group. We get the girl, we handle the threat, but we're not animals. Nobody touches her. Clear. A rumble of agreement. Then let's ride. 93 engines exploded to life. Dogs barked for 6 blocks. Car alarms screamed. Every window blazed with light. They moved through Riverside like a mechanical avalanche. Ray rode beside Duke Hart, hammering against his ribs. Behind them, the iron jackals stretched out like a war machine heading into battle. Because that's exactly what this was. The industrial district rose up after 15 minutes. Broken buildings, dead streetlights, railroad tracks choked with weeds. Duke raised his fist. They killed engines a quarter-mile out and coasted in near silent. The warehouse sat exactly where the coordinates placed it. 3 stories. Concrete. Loading docks, gaping open. Duke gestured. The club split into 3 groups, moving quiet despite their size. Half were vets. They knew how to move. Ray stayed with Duke at the main entrance. Rusted metal door hanging crooked. Duke tested it. Hinges screamed. They froze. Nothing. Duke pushed it wider and slipped inside. Ray followed. The warehouse was empty, vast, dark. Mia? Ray couldn't stop himself. Shut it, Duke hissed. Too late. Lights blazed. Not warehouse lights, headlights. 30 motorcycles sat in a semicircle, at the far end engines off headlights, on illuminating 2 metal chairs in the center. Mia sat in one, tied and blindfolded. In the other chair, another girl, older, 15, maybe 16, black hair, leather jacket. Ray ran. Ray, wait! He wasn't waiting. His daughter was 30 yards away. He was halfway there when his brain registered the second girl. Why 2? He reached Mia and ripped off her blindfold. Her eyes were wild with terror. Dad! He tore the tape from her mouth. She gasped. Dad, oh God, Dad! I got you, baby! He cut the zip ties. She threw her arms around his neck and sobbed. They grabbed me outside the library, threw me in a van. I didn't know what was happening. Shh, you're safe. I got you. Duke appeared beside him. We need to move. This smells wrong. Yeah. Ray stood pulling Mia up. Real wrong. The other girl was watching them, not crying, glaring at the darkness like she was memorizing it. Who's she? Ray asked. I don't know, Mia said. She was already here. Engines roared outside. Tank's voice crackled over radio. Boss, we got company. North entrance. Black vultures. Duke's face went white. The vultures? Ray asked. Duke stared at the second girl. Oh no. The north entrance exploded inward. Men in black leather vests poured through. Different patch. A vulture wing spread talons out. The black vultures MC, leading them Marco Santos, 47, built like a bull. Tattoos covering both arms. Scar from eyebrow to jaw. President of the vultures for 8 years. The Iron Jackal's mortal enemy. The feud went back a decade. A weapons deal. A dead brother. A vendetta that never cooled. They'd agreed to a truce 3 years ago. Cold peace. No contact. Until tonight. Marco's eyes swept the warehouse. Found Duke. Found the jackals. Found Ray and Mia. Then he saw the second girl. His face shattered. Sienna! He crossed the warehouse in 6 strides, shoved past Ray, dropped to his knees. He ripped off her blindfold and gagged with shaking hands. Uncle Marco! Uncle! Ray felt ice slide down his spine. Duke moved between the club's hands up. Marco, we didn't know. Marco ignored him. Cut Sienna's zip ties, pulled her into a crushing hug. When he stood and turned, his eyes were black holes. Explain why my niece was tied up in a warehouse full of jackals. Same reason Ray's daughter was next to her, Duke said. Somebody's playing us. Playing. Marco's laugh was ugly. You kidnap my blood and call it playing. We didn't kidnap anybody, you. Then how'd you know where to find her? Because they took my daughter. Ray stepped forward, still holding Mia. I got a text, photo, coordinates, just like you. Marco's eyes flicked to Ray. Recognition dawned. Brenner, Sarah's husband. Ray blinked. You knew Sarah? Free clinic on 5th. She sewed me up after a crash 5 years back. Never charged me. Told me to ride safer. Marco's face softened for half a second. She was good people. Only reason I don't put a bullet in you right now. Nobody's shooting anybody, Duke said. Both our kids got taken. Both got the same message. Both came here. Sound like either club to you? Marco's jaw worked. No. Then somebody set this up. Wanted us here. Together. Every phone in the warehouse buzzed. Ray pulled his out. Unknown number. Look up. Every head tilted toward the ceiling. Red lights blinked in the rafters. 6 cameras covering every angle. They're watching us. Smoke breathed. Another text. Did you think it'd be that easy? 2 birds, 1 warehouse. Beautiful trap. Duke's face went purple. Who the hell? Third message. You'll kill each other now. It's what you do best. Marco's phone buzzed. He looked at his screen. Color drained from his face. What? Duke demanded. Marco turned his phone. Photo of Tank talking to someone in a parking lot. Someone wearing a vulture's vest. When was this? Tank demanded. 2 weeks ago, a voice said from the vultures. Guy named Razor. That's me, but I never talked to him. Don't even know him. More texts flooded in. Photos everywhere. Jackals meeting vultures. Vultures meeting jackals. Conversations that never happened. All fake. Photoshop, Duke said weakly. Is it? Marco shot back. I got a dozen texts last month from numbers claiming to be your guys. Threats about moving into our territory. We got the same your club saying you'd burn our clubhouse. The 2 presidents stared at each other. Ray spoke quietly. Somebody's been setting you up, weeks, maybe months. Used our kids as bait, Marco added, his fists clenched. To bring us together. Make us think the other did it. Start a war. Duke looked at the cameras. We need out. Both clubs. Now. Before. The lights cut. Someone screamed. Emergency lights flickered on 3 seconds later. Dim red glow. The girls were gone. Both of them. Vanished. MIA. Ray spun in circles. Sienna. Marco's roar echoed. How? Tank demanded. 90 people. How? Smoke ran for the loading docks. Check every exit. The warehouse erupted. Both clubs scattered, searching every shadow. Ray's phone buzzed. He looked down with numb hands. Clock starts now. 24 hours to figure out who took them. Jackals or vultures. Choose wrong, girls die. Choose right. Maybe you see them again. Happy hunting. Below it a countdown. 23, 59, 58, 23, 59, 57, 23, 59, 56. Ray looked up. Met Marco's eyes across the warehouse. For the first time in 10 years, the 2 rival presidents weren't looking at each other like enemies. They were looking at each other like men trapped in the same nightmare. We got played, Marco said. Yeah, Duke agreed. And now they got our kids. Yeah, Ray's phone buzzed again. So did everyone else's. New message. Check your clubs. Someone's been talking. Someone's been feeding me everything. One of you is mine. Find them or don't. Either way, this ends in blood. Tank looked at Duke. Boss. Duke's face was stone. Nobody leaves. Both clubs. We figure this out together. Together. One of the vultures' guy named Cage stepped forward. We don't ride with jackals." "You do now," Marco said. His voice was ice. "Because if there's a rat in my club or his, we find them. And when we do—" He didn't finish. He didn't need to. Smoke's radio crackled. "Boss, we got a problem. South exit. There's something here." "What?" Duke asked. "You need to see this." They ran. The south loading dock sat open to the night. On the concrete, written in what looked like red spray paint, "Tommy's funeral, 3 years ago. Marco swore revenge." Did he mean it? Below it, another line, "Ask Duke about the weapons deal. Ask him who really pulled the trigger." Marco turned to Duke. "What's this about?" "I don't know." "Don't lie to me." "I'm not—" "My brother died in that deal. You said it was an accident." "It was—" "Then why's this here?" Ray stepped between them. "Stop. Both of you. This is what they want. Us fighting." "Stay out of this, Brenner," Marco growled. "No." Ray's voice cut through. "My daughter's out there, so's your niece, and while we're here playing games, they're running out of time." The countdown on his phone, 23, 47, 32. Marco's jaw worked. He looked at Duke. "We find the rat, we get our kids, then we settle old business." Duke nodded. "Deal." They turned back to the warehouse. That's when they heard it. A phone ringing, not a cell phone, an old landline, the kind that didn't exist in abandoned warehouses. They followed the sound to a corner office, door hanging open. Inside, a rotary phone sitting on a desk, ringing. Duke picked it up. "Yeah," a voice. Same modulator from before. "Tick-tock, gentlemen. 23 hours and 45 minutes, but I'm feeling generous. Here's a gift." The line clicked. A new voice came through, young, terrified. "Dad," Ray's world stopped. "Mia. Dad, I'm scared. Where are we? Who are these people?" "Baby, are you hurt?" "No, they're saying—" A hand grabbed the phone. Mia screamed, then silence. The modulated voice returned. "She's safe, for now. But the clock's ticking, and somebody in that warehouse knows exactly where they are. Question is who?" The line went dead. Ray stood there, phone pressed to his ear, hands shaking. Marco grabbed his shoulder. "My niece. Was she—" "I heard her in the background," Ray said. His voice was hollow. "They're together. Alive. For now." Duke's radio crackled. Every channel, every frequency. The modulated voice came through, "One of you knows. One of you planned this. And when they make their move, everyone dies. Trust no one. Suspect everyone. Let the games begin." The radios went silent. 93 iron jackals and 80 black vultures stood in that warehouse, looking at each other. Not as enemies, as suspects. Tank spoke first. "We need to split up, search for clues, figure out who—" "No." Marco cut him off. "We stay together. All of us. Nobody goes anywhere alone." "He's right," Duke said. "Whoever's doing this wants us scattered, paranoid, turning on each other." "So what do we do?" Smoke asked. Ray looked at the countdown on his phone. 23, 43, 17. "We have less than 24 hours, he said. "We need to retrace everything. Every text, every photo, every message. Find the pattern. Find who sent them." "And if it's one of us?" Cage asked. Silence. Marco's voice was stone. "Then God help them, because we won't." Duke nodded. "Both clubs, full disclosure. Every communication from the last month. We lay it all out. Find the common thread." "What about the police?" Prospect Tommy asked. Duke and Marco both looked at him like he'd suggested flying to the moon. "This is club business," Duke said. "We handle it our way." "Besides," Marco added, "cops get involved, whoever has our kids will know. And they'll—" He didn't finish. Nobody needed him to. Ray's phone buzzed again. Everyone looked. New message. "You have your orders. Find the rat, or I'll send you pieces of them, starting with fingers, then toes, then things you'll miss more. Clock's ticking. Use it wisely." An image loaded below the text. Mia and Sienna, sitting in what looked like a basement, still tied up, still blindfolded, but alive. Ray's breath caught. "They're okay," he whispered. "They're still okay." For now, his brain added. For now. Marco stared at the photo of his niece. "We need to move. Fast." "Agreed," Duke said. He turned to the assembled clubs. "Everybody back to the Jackal's clubhouse. We set up war room there. Bring everything, phones, messages, anything suspicious from the last 2 months." "Why your clubhouse?" Razor demanded. "Because it's bigger," Duke shot back. "And it's got a basement we can secure. You got a better idea." Razor looked at Marco. Marco shook his head. "We go, but my guys stay armed." "So do mine," Duke said. They stared at each other. Finally, Marco extended his hand. Duke took it. The handshake lasted 2 seconds. But in that moment, a decade of hatred took a back seat to something bigger. 2 fathers. 2 uncles. 2 men who'd do anything to get their kids back. Even trust their enemies. The clubs filed out of the warehouse. 93 jackals, 80 vultures, 173 bikers who 12 hours ago would have killed each other on sight, now riding together into the night. Ray climbed on his Harley. Mia's photo still glowing on his phone screen. Smoke pulled up beside him. "We're gonna get her back, brother." Ray looked at the countdown, 23, 39, 54. "Yeah," he said. "We are." But as the convoy rolled out of the industrial district, a river of headlights and thunder, one thought kept circling Ray's mind. Somewhere in this group of 173 men, one of them knew exactly where Mia and Sienna were. One of them had planned this from the start. One of them was a traitor, and they had less than 24 hours to find out who. The engines roared into the night. The hunt had begun. The Iron Jackal's clubhouse looked like a fortress preparing for siege. 173 motorcycles lined the street outside Jackal's on the left. Vultures on the right, invisible line drawn down the middle. Nobody dared cross. Ray killed his engine and watched both clubs file inside hands, never far from weapons' eyes tracking every movement. Duke held the door open. Jackal's downstairs. Vultures take the main room. Nobody wanders. Nobody goes anywhere alone. Marco nodded. "My guys stay together." "So do mine." They moved inside. The clubhouse was exactly what you'd expect. Worn leather couches, neon beer signs, walls covered in photos of rides and brothers long gone. But tonight it felt different, tighter, like the air itself was holding its breath. Tank dropped a stack of burner phones on the pool table. Every communication device from the last 8 weeks, texts, calls, everything. Smoke was already setting up laptops. We cross-reference every message, find patterns, find who's feeding information out. Ray stood by the window checking his phone every 30 seconds. The countdown burned into his retinas. 28, 12, 47. "Ray." Duke appeared beside him. "You holding up?" "No." "Good." Man who says he's fine when his kid's missing is either lying or dead inside. Duke squeezed his shoulder. "We're gonna find her." "You don't know that." "Yeah, I do. Because I know you. And I know you won't stop until she's home." Ray looked at him. "What if the rat's one of ours?" Duke's face went hard. "Then they die screaming." Across the room, Marco was gathering his guys. Razor Cage, a kid they called Torch because he'd burned down a rival clubhouse 3 years back. All of them looked ready to kill. "All right, listen up." Marco's voice cut through the noise. "Somebody's been playing us, feeding lies, turning us against each other. They used our kids to do it. That ends tonight." "How?" Torch asked. "We don't even know where to start." "Yes, we do." Smoke held up a phone. Every fake message came from a burner, different numbers, but all purchased from the same store chain. I can trace the purchase patterns. "How long?" Duke asked. 2 hours, maybe 3. Ray's stomach dropped. "We don't have 3 hours." Then we split the workload. Marco turned to his guys. "Razor, you and Cage go through every text message. Find commonalities. Torch, check security footage from our clubhouse. See if anybody's been acting strange. Duke pointed at Tank. You and Reaper do the same. Church, you've been around longest, think back. Anybody new join in the last year? Anybody asking too many questions? Church scratched his beard. Prospect Tommy came in 6 months back. Every eye in the room turned to Tommy. The kid went pale. What? No, I didn't. I would never. Where were you 3 weeks ago? Marco demanded. Tuesday night. I don't remember. Try harder. Tommy's hands were shaking. Home. I was home. Ask anybody. Anybody see you? Silence. That's what I thought, Razor said. Ray stepped forward. Wait, just wait. We can't start accusing people without proof. Kid's a prospect, Cage said. Newest guy here. Perfect plant. Or he's just scared because 80 guys are staring at him like he's guilty. Ray looked at Tommy. You got anything on your phone we should know about? Tommy pulled it out, hands trembling. Check it. Check everything. I swear I didn't do anything. Smoke took the phone and plugged it into his laptop. His fingers flew across the keyboard. 30 seconds passed. 40. He's clean, Smoke said. No suspicious contacts, no burner numbers, nothing. Tommy nearly collapsed with relief. Don't celebrate yet, Marco said. We're checking everyone. No exceptions. One by one, phones got handed over. Smoke ran through them like a machine checking call logs, message histories, deleted files. Most came back clean. A few had questionable contacts, ex-girlfriends, parole officers, lawyers. Nothing that screamed traitor. Ray's phone buzzed. Everyone froze. He looked down. Unknown number. Having fun playing detective. You're wasting time. The girls are cold, scared, crying for their daddies. But keep looking at phones. I'm sure that'll save them. Ray's hands clenched around the phone so hard the screen cracked. Duke read over his shoulder. They're trying to rattle us. It's working. Another buzz. This time a photo loaded. Mia and Sienna still in that basement. But now there was a space heater in frame turned off, and both girls were shivering. They're freezing them, Ray said. His voice came out flat, dead. Marco looked at the photo of his niece. Something dark moved behind his eyes. How cold do you think it is in there? 40 degrees, Smoke said. Maybe less. They could handle it for a few hours, but much longer. Don't. Ray cut him off. Just don't. His phone buzzed again. Want to keep them warm? Give me what I want. Ray typed back. What do you want? The response came instantly. Blood. Lots of it. Start with whoever you think the rat is. Kill them. Send proof. I'll turn the heater on. Ray showed Duke. Duke read it, and his face went white. They want us to execute someone. Anyone. To prove we're serious, Marco said. He'd been reading over Duke's other shoulder. We're not killing an innocent man, Ray said. What if they're not innocent? Razor asked. What if we find the rat? Then we get answers first, Duke said. Find out who they're working with, where the girls are. And then we kill them, Marco finished. Nobody argued. Smoke's laptop beeped. Got something. All the burner phones were purchased with cash, but 3 of them were bought within 10 minutes of each other. Same store, same day. When? Tank asked. 6 weeks ago. Tuesday afternoon. Store in Barstow. Barstow's 2 hours from here, Duke said. Who was in Barstow 6 weeks ago? The room went silent. Everyone thinking, remembering. Church spoke up. We had a run through there, stopped for gas and food. Half the club was with us. Which half? Church started listing names. Duke, Tank, Smoke, Reaper, 8 others. All verified, all accounted for. What about vultures? Duke asked. Marco looked at his guys. We were in Barstow that same day, passing through on our way to Vegas. How many of you what? 20, maybe 25. The 2 clubs stared at each other. So 50 guys total were in Barstow when those phones got purchased, Ray said. That narrows it down, but not enough. Store would have security footage, Smoke said. From 6 weeks ago. Cage shook his head. They don't keep it that long. Banks do. Everyone turned to look at Torch. He shrugged. When I used to work security, Banks keep footage for 90 days minimum. There's a Bank of America across from that store. Cameras face the parking lot. Duke grabbed his phone. I got a guy. Works bank security, owes me a favor. Call him, Marco said. Duke stepped outside. Through the window, Ray watched him pace, phone pressed to his ear. 2 minutes. 3. Then he came back in. Footage gets reviewed tomorrow morning. He'll pull anything from that Tuesday. Tomorrow. Ray checked his countdown. 22, 47, 33. We don't have until tomorrow. It's the best we got. Ray wanted to put his fist through the wall. Instead, he pulled out his phone and typed, "We're looking. We'll find them. Just don't hurt the girls." The response came fast. "You're not looking hard enough. Let me help." A new photo loaded. Not of the girls this time. This was a photo someone holding a printed picture. The picture showed Tank and Razor together, not the photoshopped one from earlier. This looked real. Old. Both of them younger, different clothes, standing outside what looked like a bar. Text below. Ask them about Albuquerque. Ask them about the deal that never happened. Ask them who really died that night. Duke showed it to Tank. Albuquerque. What's this about? Tank's face went carefully blank. I don't know. You're in the photo. I've never been to Albuquerque, and I've never met him. Tank pointed at Razor. Razor stepped forward. That's funny, because I've never been to Albuquerque either, and I definitely don't know you. Then how's there a photo of you together? Marco demanded. I don't know, Razor shot back. Maybe for the same reason there's photoshopped images of all of us. Somebody's good with computers. Smoke took the phone and zoomed in on the photo. This doesn't look shopped. The lighting's consistent, no pixel artifacts. If it's fake, it's professional grade. Or it's real, Cage said. And they're both lying. Tank's hands balled into fists. You calling me a liar? If the boot fits. Both of you shut up. Duke stepped between them. We're not doing this. This is exactly what they want. Ray's phone buzzed again. He almost didn't want to look. Tick-tock. They're getting colder, and I'm getting bored. Give me blood or give me nothing. Your choice. Another photo. Mia was visibly shivering now, arms wrapped around herself. Ray's vision went red. I need air. He pushed past everyone and stepped outside. The night was cold, clear, stars everywhere. Somewhere out there, his daughter was freezing in a basement, scared out of her mind, wondering if her dad was coming. The door opened behind him. Marco stepped out. You smoke, Marco offered a cigarette. Quit years ago. Sarah made me. Good woman. They stood in silence for a moment. My brother died in that weapons deal, Marco said quietly. 10 years ago. Duke said it was an accident. Stray bullet, wrong place, wrong time. You don't believe him. I did, for a while. Then I started hearing rumors, different stories, conflicting accounts. Marco took a drag. I never got answers, just more questions. And now somebody's throwing it in your face. Yeah, Ray looked at him. You think Duke lied? Marco was quiet for a long time. I think everybody lies when they're scared. Question is, what was he scared of? Before Ray could respond, shouting erupted from inside. They ran back in. Tank and Razor were nose to nose, both clubs surging forward, hands on weapons. Say it again, Tank roared. Say it to my face. I said you're hiding something, Razor shot back. That photo's real, and you know it. I've never seen that photo in my life. Then why do you look so nervous? Tank swung. Razor ducked and came up with a knife. Enough! Duke and Marco shouted simultaneously. The room froze. Duke grabbed Tank, hauled him back. Marco did the same with Razor. We are not doing this, Duke said through clenched teeth. We are not giving them what they want. Then tell your boy to stop lying, Cage said. He's not lying, Smoke said. I ran facial recognition on that photo. It's definitely Tank, definitely Razor. But the metadata says it was taken 8 years ago. 8 years. Marco looked at Razor. Where were you 8 years ago? Prison, Razor said. Served 18 months for assault. Got out, came straight to the vultures. Tank, Duke asked. Deployed, Afghanistan. Didn't get home until 7 years ago. Smoke nodded. I can verify both. Service records and prison records are public. So the photo's impossible, Ray said. Unless it was taken before Tank deployed or after Razor got out, Church offered. Timing doesn't work, Smoke said. The metadata's locked in. Photo was taken April 2017. Tank was overseas. Razor was locked up. Then it's fake, Duke said. Best fake I've ever seen, Smoke admitted. Ray's phone buzzed. Fun fact. That photo's real. They just don't remember. But don't worry, they will. Keep digging. You're getting warmer. Or maybe colder. Hard to tell. Speaking of cold. Another photo. The space heater was still off. Mia and Sienna were huddled together now, sharing body heat. Ray's heart cracked. He typed, please. They're just kids. So was I once. Nobody helped me. Why should I help them? What do you want? Money. We can get money. I don't want money. I want what you took from me. I never took anything from you. Not you. Them. The clubs. They took everything. Now I'm taking it back. Ray showed Duke and Marco. This isn't random, Marco said. This is personal. Somebody with a grudge against both clubs. List of people who hate us would fill a phone book, Duke muttered. Start with people who hate us both, Ray said. Who've we both wronged? The clubs started talking. Names flew. Some dead, some in prison, some who'd moved away years ago. Church spoke up again. What about the guys we kicked out? Everyone stopped. Expulsions, Church continued. Last 5 years. How many guys got their patches pulled? Duke thought about it. 4 from us. Snake Axel, 2 others. 3 from us, Marco said. Ghost Ricky and that kid from Fresno nobody remembers. 7 total, Ray said. That's a start. Where are they now? Smoke was already typing. Give me names. I'll run them down. Duke listed the Jackal's expulsions. Marco did the same for the Vultures. Smoke's fingers flew. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Got 2 confirmed dead, Smoke said. One's in Pelican Bay doing life. One moved to Oregon, got married, hasn't been south in 3 years. That leaves 3, Tank said. Snake Axel and Ghost. Snake was my vice president, Marco said. His voice went cold. Until he started skimming club funds. I beat him half to death and threw him out. Axel was our enforcer, Duke added. Got too violent. Started hurting civilians. We couldn't have that. And Ghost, Ray asked. Nobody knows, Razor said. He just disappeared. One day he was there, next day he wasn't. Marco went to pull his patch and he was already gone. When was this? 8 months ago. Smoke pulled up driver's license photos. 3 faces appeared on his screen. Snake, late 30s, shaved head, burn scar on his neck. Axel, early 40s, thick beard, eyes that looked dead even in the photo. Ghost, mid-20s, baby face, looked like he should be in college, not a motorcycle club. Any of them have tech skills? Ray asked. This level of manipulation, fake photos, burner networks, surveillance requires serious know-how. Ghost worked it before joining the club, Razor said. Kid was always on his laptop. There's our guy, Duke said. Maybe, Smoke said. But Snake and Axel could have hired help, or learned. 8 months is a long time to plan revenge. Ray's countdown hit 22 exactly. His phone rang. Not a text. An actual call. Unknown number. Ray answered on speaker. Hello, Ray. The modulated voice sounded almost cheerful. 22 hours left. How's the investigation going? We know about Snake, Axel, and Ghost, Ray said. We know you're one of them. Silence. Then laughter. Mechanical and wrong. Very good. You're smarter than I thought. But here's the thing, knowing who I might be doesn't tell you where I am, doesn't tell you where the girls are, doesn't save them from freezing to death in the next 20 hours. Turn on the heater, Ray said. His voice shook. Please, they didn't do anything to you. No, but their fathers did. Their uncles did. The clubs did. And now they pay the price. Their children. So was my sister. She was 14 when one of your clubs ran her off the road. 14 when she died in the hospital. Nobody paid for that. Nobody even apologized. The line went dead. Ray stood there, phone in hand, world spinning. Sister, he whispered. Church's face went white. Oh, God. What? Duke demanded. 10 years ago, maybe 11, there was an accident. Teenage girl on a bicycle. Some of our guys were riding drunk, ran her off Route 46. She hit a guardrail. Died 2 days later. Who was riding? Marco asked. Church's hands shook. Me. Duke. Tommy, not Prospect. Tommy Rodriguez. And 2 others. Tommy Rodriguez, Duke said slowly. He died 5 years ago. Cancer. What about the other 2? Dead. Both of them. One in a crash, one in a bar fight. Convenient, Razor said. It was years ago, Church said. Different times. We didn't... You killed a kid and didn't face consequences, Marco said flatly. It was an accident. Tell that to her brother. Ray pulled out his phone and searched local news from 10-11 years ago. Scrolled through obituaries. Found it. Maria Santos, age 14. Died in hospital following bicycle accident on Route 46. Santos. Ray's blood went cold. Marco, he said slowly. Santos is your last name. Marco's face was stone. It's a common name. How common, Maria Santos? 14. Died 11 years ago. Marco didn't answer. Was she your sister? Duke asked. Still nothing. Marco. She was my cousin. Marco exploded. My baby cousin. I was supposed to pick her up from school that day, but I was running late, so she rode her bike home instead. And she never made it because some drunk jackals ran her off the road. The room went silent. You knew, Duke said. His voice was barely audible. All these years, you knew it was us. I suspected. Could never prove it. Then 3 years ago, Church got drunk at a bar and started talking. I was there. I heard everything. And you said nothing. What was I supposed to say? Marco's eyes blazed. I already lost her. You wanted me to lose my club too. Start a war over something that happened years ago. So you made peace instead, Ray said. Truce. Cold War. Kept your enemies close. Yeah. Duke looked sick. The whole time. Every run, every meet, every truce negotiation, you were thinking about her. Every single day. Razor stepped forward. Boss, if the jackals killed your cousin, why are we helping them? Because my niece is in that basement too, Marco roared. Because whoever's doing this doesn't care about justice. They care about revenge, and revenge gets everybody killed. Ray's phone buzzed. Touching reunion, but you're still not close. Here's a hint. Ghost's real name is Daniel Santos, Maria's younger brother. He was 8 when she died. He's 23 now, and he's been planning this for 15 years. A photo loaded. Young boy at a funeral holding a teddy bear, tears streaming down his face. Then a second photo. Same boy older, 15 maybe, standing outside the Iron Jackals clubhouse with a camera. Third photo. Same kid at 20 shaking hands with Marco, smiling, joining the Black Vultures. He infiltrated us, Marco breathed. And we kicked him out 8 months ago, Razor said. Gave him time to plan this whole thing. Where would he take them? Ray demanded. He needs somewhere isolated, somewhere he can watch us without being seen. Smoke was already typing. Daniel Santos. Last known address. He stopped. Oh no. What? His last known address is 1247 Industrial Way. Duke's face went white. That's 2 blocks from the warehouse. He's been watching us the whole time, Tank said. We were right there and he was watching. Ray checked the countdown. 21, 47, 12. Less than 22 hours. His daughter was 2 blocks from where they'd been. Maybe closer. We go now, Ray said. Both clubs. We find him. We end this. Wait. Smoke held up a hand. If we all go, he'll see us coming. He's got cameras everywhere. He'll kill the girls and run. So what do we do? Small team. 4 guys max. Quiet approach. Rest of us stay here, monitor communications, ready to move if needed. Duke looked at Marco. Your call. Your guy. Marco's jaw worked. Ray and I go. We're the fathers. We have the most to lose. I'm going too, Duke said. This started because of us. I finish it. Me too, Razor said. Ghost was my prospect, my responsibility. Nobody argued. 4 men, 4 motorcycles. Rolling out into the night while 169 others stayed behind, watching, waiting, praying this worked. Ray climbed on his Harley and checked his phone one more time. New message from Daniel. Coming for me. Good, let's finish this. But remember, one wrong move, one sound, one mistake, and you'll find pieces of them scattered across 3 counties. See you soon, Ray. We have so much to talk about. The 4 engines roared to life. 21 hours and 43 minutes. The countdown continued, and somewhere in the dark, Daniel Santos was waiting. They killed their engines 6 blocks out and coasted in silent. Ray's heart hammered against his ribs so hard he thought it might crack bone. Every shadow looked like a threat. Every sound was Daniel Santos waiting to put a bullet through his skull. Marco held up his fist. They stopped. The address Smoke found led to a 3-story building that used to be a printing factory. Windows boarded up. Loading dock chains rusted through. The kind of place people forgot existed. Perfect for hiding 2 terrified girls. Duke pulled out his phone and typed to Smoke, "We're here, going dark. If you don't hear from us in 30 minutes, send everyone." The response came instant. Copy, be smart. Ray checked his countdown. 21:17:44. They dismounted and moved toward the building. Razor took point. Duke covered the rear. Marco and Ray stayed center. Military formation. They'd all done this before in different wars, different countries, different lifetimes, but none of those missions involved their own kids. The front entrance was chained from outside. Ray tested it. Solid. Side door, Marco whispered. They circled around. The side entrance hung open 3 inches, just enough to slip through sideways. Ray went first. Inside was darkness so complete it felt solid. He waited for his eyes to adjust. Shapes emerged slowly. Old printing presses, stacks of rotted paper, broken pallets. Basement, Duke breathed. If he's keeping them anywhere, it's below ground. They found stairs at the back. Concrete, descending into pitch black. Ray pulled out his phone for light. Marco grabbed his wrist. No light. He'll see. I can't see anything without it. Then feel your way down. Ray pocketed his phone and started descending. One hand on the wall, 1 foot testing each step before committing weight. Behind him, 3 men doing the same. 12 steps down the stairs ended. Another door. This one metal. Unlocked. Ray eased it open an inch at a time. The hinges didn't make a sound, recently oiled. Someone had been using this door, often. Beyond it, a hallway. Emergency lights casting red glow every 20 feet. Which way? Razor whispered. Ray closed his eyes and listened. Water dripping somewhere to the left. Mechanical hum, probably HVAC to the right. And something else. Breathing. Quiet. Measured. Coming from straight ahead. He pointed. They moved down the hallway single file. Ray's combat training kicked in, every step heel to toe weight, distributed silent as ghosts. The hallway opened into a larger space. Old break room maybe, or storage. Red emergency light showed tables, chairs, filing cabinets. And in the center, facing away from them, a figure sitting at a laptop. Daniel Santos. He was smaller than Ray expected, young, wearing a black hoodie and jeans, headphones over his ears. The laptop screen bathed his face in blue light. On the screen, security feeds. The warehouse from earlier. The clubhouse. Multiple angles of both buildings. And 2 more feeds showing Mia and Sienna still in that basement, still shivering, still alive. Ray's breath caught. Marco saw it too. His hand went to his knife. Duke shook his head. Too risky. Daniel was 10 feet away with his back turned, but the girls weren't here. Kill him now, and they might never find them. Ray pulled out his phone and typed, "Where are they?" No response. He tried again. "We're here. Show yourself." Daniel kept typing on his laptop headphones, still on oblivious. Or pretending to be. Ray took one step forward. The floor beneath his boot clicked. Pressure plate. Every light in the room blazed on simultaneously. Blinding. Ray threw his arm up, vision whiting out. When his eyes adjusted 3 seconds later, Daniel was standing. Headphones off, gun in hand, pointed directly at Ray's chest. "Took you long enough," Daniel said. His voice wasn't modulated anymore. Young, tired, angry in ways that had nothing to do with rage and everything to do with grief that never healed. "Where are they?" Ray asked. "Safe. For now." "I want to see them." "I'm sure you do." Daniel gestured with the gun. "Weapons on the floor. All of you. Slowly." "You're not in a position to make demands," Marco said. Daniel smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. "I have a dead man's switch on my phone. If my heart stops if I don't check in every 10 minutes, an automated message goes out. The girls die. So yeah, Marco, I'm exactly in a position to make demands." Marco's face went white. "You remember me." "I remember everything. Every face. Every name. Every person who wronged my family." Daniel's gun didn't waver. "Weapons. Now." They complied. Knives, guns, brass knuckles. Everything hit the concrete with dull thuds. "Kick them away." They did. Daniel relaxed slightly. "Better. Now we can talk like civilized people." "Civilized?" Duke's voice was ice. "You kidnapped children. Like you killed one," Daniel shot back. "Like you ran my sister off the road and left her to die. Where was civilization then?" "That was an accident," Church said. "Church isn't here," Ray interrupted. "Just us, and we want our kids back." "I don't care what you want." Daniel's hand shook slightly. The gun wavered. "You took everything from me. My sister. My childhood. My family. Maria was supposed to teach me to drive. She was supposed to help me with homework. She was supposed to be at my graduation. But she's not. Because of them." "I wasn't there," Ray said. "I didn't kill your sister. My daughter had nothing to do with this. But her father rides with murderers. Her father calls them brothers. Her father protects them. I didn't know. None of us knew until an hour ago. Ignorance isn't innocence." Marco stepped forward. "Daniel, I'm sorry about Maria. She was my cousin. I loved her too." "You loved her?" Daniel laughed, harsh and broken. "You replaced her. You moved on. You built your club and your life, and you forgot." "I never forgot." "Then why didn't you do anything?" Daniel's voice cracked. "You knew who killed her. You knew, and you made peace with them. You shook their hands. You rode beside them. Because she wouldn't have wanted a war. You don't know what she wanted. You weren't there when she was dying. I held her hand. I listened to her scream. Tears were streaming down Daniel's face now, but the gun stayed level. She begged me. She said, 'Danny, make them pay.' Those were her last words. Make them pay. And I've spent 15 years figuring out how." Ray's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. "Smoke. Everything okay?" 30 minutes almost up. Daniel saw him looking. "Tell them you're fine. Tell them you need more time." Ray typed, "Need another hour. Don't come in." "You sure?" "Positive." He pocketed the phone and looked at Daniel. "The girls. Where are they?" "Close." "That's not an answer." "It's the only one you're getting until I'm ready." Razor spoke up. "You were my prospect. I brought you into the club. I trusted you. And I used that trust to learn everything about both clubs, routines, rivalries, weaknesses. It was easier than I thought. You all hate each other so much you never considered you might have a common enemy. So you played us, Duke said. Fake messages, photoshopped pictures, all of it. Not all photoshopped. Some were real. That picture of Tank and Razor real. They did meet. Once. 8 years ago at a neutral bar. Talked for 5 minutes about nothing important. But I bet they don't remember because it meant nothing to them. Everything means nothing to you people. Tank wasn't there, but Ray filed that information away. The kidnapping, Marco said. How'd you do it? Alone. I'm not alone. Daniel smiled again. Snake and Axel helped. They have their own grudges. We found each other online. Formed a partnership. They wanted revenge on the clubs. I wanted justice for Maria. Mutual interests. Where are they now? Watching the clubhouse. Waiting. If this goes wrong, they have orders. Ray's blood ran cold. What orders? Burn it down, with everyone inside. Duke's face went purple. You son of a... Careful! Daniel's finger tightened on the trigger. I'm the only thing keeping your brothers alive right now. You're bluffing, Razor said. Am I? Daniel turned his laptop. The screen showed live feeds of the clubhouse. Exterior views. And there in the shadows near the building, 2 figures. One holding what looked like a jerry can, the other with a lighter. Snake and Axel. One text from me, Daniel said. That's all it takes. Burn it all down. 169 men. Gone. Marco's hands clenched into fists. What do you want? I already told you. Justice. You want us dead. I want you to feel what I felt. Helplessness, loss, grief so deep it never stops hurting. Daniel's voice shook. I want you to know what it's like to lose someone you love and have nobody pay for it. Then kill me, Ray said. Everyone turned to look at him. What? Duke started. Kill me, Ray repeated. I'm the one who called the clubs together. I'm the one who started this whole thing tonight. You want someone to pay? Take me. Let the girls go. Let everyone else go. Just take me. Daniel studied him. You'd die for your daughter. Without hesitation. Even though she'd grow up without a father. Better without a father than dead in a basement. Daniel was quiet for a long moment. You really mean that? Every word. Good. Daniel lowered his gun. Because you're going to need that conviction for what comes next. He turned back to his laptop and typed something. One of the feeds changed. A different basement. Darker. Colder. Mia and Sienna appeared on screen. They were in separate rooms now, divided by a concrete wall. Each room had a door. Each door had a keypad. Here's how this works, Daniel said. 2 rooms, 2 girls, 2 codes. You get 1 code. You can save 1 girl. The other stays locked in until she freezes to death. Your choice. Ray's world stopped. No. No. Daniel's eyebrows raised. You just said you'd die for your daughter. This is easier. Just choose. Your daughter lives. His niece dies. Simple. That's not simple, Marco said. That's murder. Exactly. Just like what happened to Maria. 1 choice. 1 consequence. 1 life ended. We're not choosing, Duke said. Then they both die. There has to be another way, Razor said. There isn't. Daniel pulled out his phone. You have 60 seconds to decide. After that, I drop the temperature in both rooms to 0. They'll be dead in an hour. Ray looked at Marco. Marco looked back. 2 fathers, 2 girls, 1 impossible choice. Ray, Marco said slowly, save Mia. What? She's 12. Sienna's 15. Sienna's had more life. Save Mia. I'm not killing your niece. And I'm not killing your daughter. So save her. I'll live with it. Marco, do it. Daniel held up his phone. 40 seconds. Ray's hands were shaking so badly he could barely hold his phone. He pulled up the text thread with Daniel. Give me the code, he said. Choose first. I choose Mia. Say it with conviction. Say, I choose to let Sienna Santos die so my daughter can live. Ray's throat closed. He couldn't breathe, couldn't think. 30 seconds. Marco grabbed Ray's shoulders. Say it. For God's sake, say it. I can't. 20 seconds. Duke stepped forward. There's a third option. Everyone looked at him. Give us both codes, Duke said. We save both girls, and you get what you really want. What I want, Daniel asked. Confession, accountability, justice. Duke pulled off his vest, the leather with the iron jackal's patch, and dropped it on the floor. I was there the night Maria died. I was drunk. I was riding reckless. I was responsible. You want someone to pay, I'm right here. Church wasn't present, but Duke was telling the truth for him, taking responsibility for all of them. Daniel stared at the vest on the floor. One vest doesn't bring her back. No, but it's a start. Give us the codes. We save the girls. Then you and I settle this. Just us. No clubs, no war. One life for one life. Duke don't, Ray said. It's the only way. Daniel was quiet, thinking. The gun lowered slightly. 10 seconds, he said. But his voice had lost its edge. Both codes, Duke repeated. Both girls live. And you get your justice. Real justice. Not revenge on children. 5 seconds. Daniel, please, Marco said. Sienna loved Maria too. She used to talk about her all the time. Don't make her pay for something that happened before she was born. 3. I'm begging you, Ray said. Father to brother, don't do this. 2. Daniel's finger hovered over his phone. 1. He pressed a button. On the laptop screen, both doors unlocked. Click, click. Both rooms opened simultaneously. Mia and Sienna stumbled out into a hallway, saw each other collapsed into each other's arms. Ray's knees nearly gave out. Daniel dropped his phone on the table. There, both girls, happy. The building, Marco said. Where are they? Daniel typed on his laptop. An address appeared on screen. 20 minutes from here. I'll text Snake and Axel to stand down. He pulled out his phone and typed, Mission abort. Release the girls. Meet at Rally Point C. A response came back. Confirmed. Moving now. Daniel showed them the screen. They're leaving. Your clubhouse is safe. The girls will be out front in 15 minutes. Duke pulled out his phone and texted Smoke. Address incoming. Send everyone. Get the girls. He forwarded Daniel's address. Smoke replied, On our way. Ray could barely process what just happened. Both girls alive. Both safe. It should have been over. But Duke was still standing there, vest on the floor, facing Daniel like a man at his own execution. Your turn, Daniel said. You promised justice. I did. Duke, no. Ray started. Stay out of this. Duke didn't take his eyes off Daniel. How do you want to do this, gun knife bare hands? Daniel picked up his gun. This'll work. Then do it. Daniel raised the weapon, pointed it at Duke's chest. His hand shook. Do it, Duke repeated. You wanted someone to pay. Here I am. Daniel's finger moved to the trigger. She was 14, he whispered. 14 years old. I know. She wanted to be a teacher. She loved kids. She used to volunteer at the elementary school. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't bring her back. No, it doesn't. Nothing will. But killing me won't either. It's not about bringing her back, Daniel said. Tears were streaming down his face again. It's about making the hurt stop. It won't stop, trust me. I've killed men, lots of them. Wars fight self-defense. Every single one still keeps me up at night. You pull that trigger, you'll carry it forever. Just like I carry Maria. You don't carry her. You forgot about her. I think about her every time I ride Route 46. Every time I pass that guardrail, every single time. Duke's voice cracked. I was drunk and stupid and reckless, and I killed a child. I've had to live with that for 11 years. Killing me won't erase it, won't make it right, won't give you peace. Daniel's hand shook harder. Then what will? I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe grief doesn't end. Maybe it just becomes part of you. The gun lowered an inch, then another. Daniel's face crumpled. I just want my sister back. I know. I want to show her my apartment, My job. I want to tell her about everything she missed. I know. The gun dropped to Daniel's side. He collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Duke moved slowly toward him and took the gun. Daniel didn't resist. Marco's phone buzzed. He looked at it, and his whole body sagged with relief. Smoke has them. Both girls. They're safe. Ray nearly collapsed. He pulled out his phone. A photo from Smoke showed Mia wrapped in a blanket being loaded into an ambulance. Conscious. Alive. Safe. Beside her, Sienna getting the same treatment. Behind them, 169 bikers standing watch. The cavalry had arrived. Ray typed, "Is she okay?" Smoke. "Paramedics say she's hypothermic but stable. Sienna too. They're taking them to County General. You should meet them there." "What about Snake and Axel?" "In custody. We caught them leaving the clubhouse. They're not going anywhere." Ray looked at Duke. "It's over." Duke nodded. He was still holding Daniel's gun, looking down at the young man sobbing in the chair. Razor spoke quietly. "What do we do with him?" "Good question." Daniel had kidnapped 2 children, terrorized 2 motorcycle clubs, orchestrated an elaborate revenge plot. By any measure, he deserved prison, or worse. But looking at him now, 23 years old, broken by grief, crying for a sister he'd lost half his life ago, Ray couldn't find it in himself to hate him. Marco stepped forward. "Daniel, look at me." Daniel raised his head. His eyes were red and swollen. "Maria wouldn't want this," Marco said. "She wouldn't want you throwing your life away for revenge. She loved you. She'd want you to live, really live, not just exist in this hell you've built." "How would you know what she wanted?" "Because I knew her. She was kind, gentle, forgiving. She used to cry when we'd talk about club business because she hated violence. She hated when people got hurt." Marco knelt down to eye level. "If she could see you now, she'd be heartbroken. Not because of what they did, because of what you've become." Daniel's face crumpled again. "I just miss her so much." "I know. So do I. Every day. But this..." Marco gestured at the laptop, the gun, the whole operation. "This isn't honoring her. This is killing yourself slowly, and she wouldn't want that." They sat in silence for a moment. Finally, Duke spoke. "Here's what's going to happen. We call the police. You confess to everything. You take responsibility. Snake and Axel too. Full accountability." "I'll go to prison," Daniel said. "Probably. For a long time." "Good. Maybe I should. Maybe. But that's not our call. That's for a jury to decide." Duke helped him to his feet. "But I'm going to do something too. I'm going to confess to what happened to Maria. The whole thing. The drinking, the recklessness, the cover-up. All of it. If you're taking responsibility for your actions, I'm taking responsibility for mine." "Duke, you can't," Razor said. "I can and I will. It's 11 years overdue." Ray pulled out his phone and dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency?" "I need police and paramedics at 1247 Industrial Way. We have a suspect in custody for kidnapping. He's unarmed and cooperative. We also have a confession related to a hit and run from 11 years ago." The dispatcher started asking questions. Ray answered them mechanically while watching Duke help Daniel into a chair and sit beside him. 2 men. 2 confessions. 2 chances at redemption. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Marco's phone rang. He answered. "Uncle Marco." Sienna's voice weak but alive. "Where are you?" Marco's face broke into the first genuine smile Ray had seen from him all night. "I'm coming, mija. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Are you okay?" "Cold. Scared. But okay. Is Mia okay?" "She's fine. Her dad's coming too." Ray held out his hand for the phone. Marco passed it over. "Sienna, it's Ray. Can you put Mia on rustling sounds?" Then his daughter's voice. "Dad." Ray had to sit down. His legs wouldn't hold him anymore. "Baby girl, are you hurt?" "No, I'm okay. I was so scared. I thought, I know. But it's over now. You're safe. I'm coming to get you right now." "Okay, Dad. Yeah. I love you." Ray's throat closed. I love you too, baby. So much. The sirens were close now, seconds away. Duke stood and faced the door. Ray, Marco, Razor, you three should go. Get to the hospital. Be with your kids. What about you? Ray asked. I'll handle this. Police need statements anyway. Might as well start with the truth. Duke. Go. Your daughter needs you more than I do. Ray looked at Daniel one more time. The young man sat slumped in his chair, staring at nothing, looking like exactly what he was, a kid who'd lost everything and made terrible choices trying to get it back. For what it's worth, Ray said. I'm sorry about Maria. Truly. Daniel nodded but didn't speak. The three men headed for the stairs. Behind them, police cars screeched to a stop outside. Doors slammed. Officers shouted commands. They made it outside and climbed on their bikes. Ray's phone showed 19:23:47 on the countdown that no longer mattered. The girls were safe. The clubs were safe. The war was over before it started. He fired up his Harley and rode toward County General with Marco and Razor flanking him. The desert highway stretched out ahead, stars blazing overhead, cold wind numbing his face. But all he could think about was seeing Mia again. Holding her. Never letting go. 20 minutes later, he pulled into the hospital parking lot. The ambulance was still there, back doors open. Paramedics were wheeling two gurneys inside. Ray ran. He got to Mia's side just as they pushed through the emergency room doors. She was wrapped in thermal blankets, IV, and her arm oxygen mask over her face. But her eyes were open, and when she saw him, she smiled. Dad? He grabbed her hand. I'm here, baby. I'm right here. I knew you'd come. Always. Every time. No matter what. They wheeled her into a treatment room. Ray stayed with her, holding her hand while doctors checked vitals, administered warm fluids, assessed for frostbite and hypothermia. In the next room, Marco was doing the same with Sienna. Two girls, two families, both safe, both whole. Ray's phone buzzed. Text from Duke. In custody. Gave full statement. Daniel and the others confessing to everything. Media's going to have a field day. But it's done. How's Mia? Ray typed back. She's perfect, thank you. For everything. Thank the brothers, all 93 of them. And the 80 who rode with us. Couldn't have done it without them. When are you getting out? Lawyer says tomorrow morning. They're charging me with vehicular manslaughter for Maria. Might do time, might not. Either way, it's worth it. Ray stared at that message for a long moment. Duke was willing to go to prison to make things right, to give Daniel and Maria's family the justice they deserved. That was brotherhood, real brotherhood, not the kind built on patches and bikes, the kind built on accountability and sacrifice. A doctor approached. Mr. Brenner, your daughter's going to be fine. We want to keep her overnight for observation, but she should make a full recovery. Ray nearly wept with relief. Thank you. Thank you so much. She's asking for you. He went back into the room. Mia was sitting up now, blankets around her shoulders, color returning to her face. Dad, they said I can have Jell-O. Can you get me some? Ray laughed. Actually laughed. After everything, the terror, the countdown, the impossible choices, his daughter wanted Jell-O. Any flavor you want, he said. Red. Red it is. He kissed her forehead and headed for the nurse's station. In the hallway he passed Marco. The older man looked exhausted, relieved, grateful. Sienna, Ray asked. She's good, asking for hot chocolate. They shared a look. No words needed. Their kids were alive. Nothing else mattered. Ray, Marco said. What happened tonight? Stays between us, Ray finished. Both clubs. We forget the feuds, forget the grudges, start clean. Marco extended his hand. Deal. They shook. A real handshake this time, not enemies forming a temporary alliance, brothers forged through fire. Ray got Mia's Jell-O and headed back to her room. Outside, the sun was starting to rise. First light breaking over the desert. A new day. And for the first time in 24 hours, Ray Brenner allowed himself to breathe. His daughter was safe. The nightmare was over. Ray walked back into Mia's hospital room carrying red jello and found her staring at her hands. "Baby, you okay?" She looked up. Her eyes were different now, older somehow, like the last 24 hours had aged her in ways sleep and food couldn't fix. "The man who took us," she said quietly. "Daniel. He kept talking while we were down there. He said his sister died because of bikers, because of drunk guys on motorcycles who didn't care about anything except themselves." Ray sat down hard in the chair beside her bed. "Mia, is that true? Did bikers kill his sister? He could lie, should lie, protect her from the ugly truth about the world and the club and the men he called brothers. But looking at those eyes that had seen too much already, he couldn't do it." "Yeah," he said, 11 years ago, before you were born. Some guys from the Iron Jackals were riding drunk. They ran a girl off the road. She died." Mia was quiet for a long moment. "Were you there?" "No, I wasn't even in the club yet. I was still in the Marines." "But you know the guys who did it." "I do now. I didn't know before tonight. And they never got in trouble." "No. That's not fair." "No, it's not." She picked at the jello cup without opening it. "The girl in the basement with me, Sienna. She was nice. She kept telling me stories to keep me from being scared. She told me about her family and her school and this boy she likes but won't admit she likes." Ray felt something crack in his chest. Two girls, two families, connected by violence they didn't commit, and grief they didn't deserve. "She saved me," Mia continued. "When I was getting really cold and I wanted to sleep, she kept shaking me awake. She said if I slept, I might not wake up. So she kept me talking, kept me alive. I'll have to thank her. Her uncle's the president of that other club, right? The Black Vultures." "Yeah. And you guys are enemies. We're enemies. I don't know what we are now." Mia finally looked at him. "Dad, I don't want you riding with people who kill kids and get away with it." The words hit like a physical blow. "Mia, I'm serious. Mom died, and you got all sad, and you joined that club because you needed brothers or whatever. But if those brothers are the kind of people who do bad things and don't face consequences, I don't want you around them." Ray opened his mouth, closed it. Everything he wanted to say felt hollow. "I'll think about it," he finally managed. "Promise? I promise." A knock at the door. Marco stood there with Sienna beside him. The girl looked exhausted, wrapped in a hospital blanket, but she was smiling. "Sorry to interrupt," Marco said. "Sienna wanted to see Mia before we headed home." "Of course." Ray stood. "Come in." Sienna rushed to Mia's bedside. "Oh my God, are you okay? They said you were okay, but I wanted to make sure." "I'm fine," Mia said. "Are you?" "Yeah, cold, but fine." The two girls hugged like they'd known each other for years instead of hours. Ray and Marco stepped into the hallway to give them space. "Your daughter's a fighter," Marco said. "So's your niece. Mia told me Sienna kept her awake, kept her alive. They kept each other alive. That's what family does." They stood in silence watching through the window as the girls talked and laughed like the trauma was already fading. It wasn't Ray knew. It would come back. Nightmares, panic attacks, trust issues. But for now, they got to be kids again. "The media's already circling," Marco said. "Police statement went out an hour ago. 2 motorcycle clubs working together to rescue kidnapped girls. They're calling it a miracle. Feels more like a mess. Yeah, but our kind of mess." Marco pulled out his phone. "I got a text from Duke. He's being arraigned tomorrow morning, pleading guilty to vehicular manslaughter in Maria's death. He's really doing it. Man of his word." Marco pocketed the phone. "I talked to Daniel's lawyer too. Kids cooperating fully. Giving up Snake and Axel taking responsibility for the kidnapping. Prosecution's talking 20 years minimum. He's 23. He'll be 43 when he gets out. If he gets out." Marco's voice was flat. "That's if they don't charge him as a domestic terrorist. Then he's looking at life." Ray thought about Daniel sobbing in that chair, broken by grief that had festered for 15 years. What he did was wrong, but I understand why he did it. So do I. Doesn't make it right. No. Marco glanced back at the girls. I'm pulling Sienna out of the life. No more club events. No more hanging around the clubhouse. She needs normal. School and friends and stupid teenage drama that doesn't involve kidnapping. Good call. I'm thinking the same for Mia. What about you? Ray looked at him. What do you mean? You staying in the Jackals? The question he'd been avoiding since Mia asked it. I don't know, Ray admitted. Part of me wants to walk away. Burn the vest. Forget any of this happened. And the other part knows those 93 guys showed up when I needed them. No questions. No hesitation. They rode into hell to save my daughter. How do I walk away from that? Marco nodded slowly. I've been asking myself the same thing about the vultures. We're not good people, Ray. We've done bad things, hurt people, broken laws. But when it mattered, when everything was on the line, they came through. So what do we do? I think we rebuild. Both clubs. New rules, new standards. No more covering up crimes. No more protecting guys who hurt innocents. We hold each other accountable. You think the clubs will go for that? If they don't, I walk, and I take everyone who agrees with me. Marco's jaw set. I'm done being president of a club that values loyalty over morality. From now on, we do right or we don't do anything. Ray's phone buzzed. Text from Smoke. News crews outside the clubhouse, wanting statements. What should we tell them? Ray showed Marco. Tell them the truth, Marco said. 2 clubs, 1 mission, 2 girls saved. Everything else is internal business. Ray typed back, keep it simple, no details. No, refer everything else to police. Smoke. Copy. How's Mia? She's good, asking questions I don't know how to answer. Kids are smarter than we think. She'll figure it out. Ray hoped he was right. A doctor approached them. Young woman, maybe 30, with tired eyes and a clipboard. Mr. Santos, Mr. Brenner, I need to talk to you about the girls. They followed her to a quiet corner. Physically, they're both going to be fine, the doctor said. Mild hypothermia, dehydration, some bruising from the restraints. Nothing that won't heal. And mentally, Marco asked. The doctor's expression shifted. That's harder to predict. They experience significant trauma, kidnapping, captivity, physical discomfort, psychological manipulation. They're going to need therapy, probably long-term. Whatever they need, Ray said, cost doesn't matter. I'll have social services send you some referrals, child psychologists who specialize in trauma recovery. She made notes on her clipboard. I also need to ask, are either of you planning to press charges against the perpetrators? Police already have them in custody, Marco said. Charges are being filed. Good. The girls will likely need to testify at some point. We can work with the prosecution to minimize trauma during that process. Ray's stomach turned. Mia would have to relive this. In front of strangers. In front of Daniel and Snake and Axel. Is there any way to avoid that? He asked. Possibly. If the defendants plead guilty, there might not be a trial. But that's up to them and their lawyers. Marco pulled out his phone. I'll make some calls. See what I can arrange. The doctor nodded and walked away. Ray leaned against the wall and closed his eyes. Every time he thought it was over, another wave crashed down. Ray, Marco's voice was quiet. You ever wonder if we're cursed? What? The clubs. The life. Everything we touch turns to violence and chaos. Our kids pay the price for our choices. That's not... It is. Look at us. You lost your wife to cancer while you were working 2 jobs to pay for her treatment because club income wasn't enough. I lost my cousin because drunk brothers couldn't stay off their bikes. Daniel lost his sister and spent 15 years drowning in grief until it turned him into a monster. Where's the blessing in any of that? Ray didn't have an answer. Maybe it's time, Marco continued. Time to walk away, both of us. Build something new. Like what? I don't know. Normal lives, regular jobs, communities that don't revolve around patches and territory. It sounded impossible. Ray had been a jackal for 8 years. The club was his identity, his purpose, his family after Sarah died. But looking through that window at Mia, his daughter who'd almost died because of club politics and old grudges, maybe impossible, was exactly what he needed. "Let me think about it," Ray said. "Don't think too long, you. Life moves fast, and we've wasted enough of it already." Marco headed back to Sienna's room. Ray stayed in the hallway, phone in hand, staring at Duke's contact. Duke was sitting in a cell right now, taking responsibility for something he'd done 11 years ago. Sacrificing his freedom for accountability. That was the kind of man Ray wanted to ride with. But was it worth the cost? His phone rang. Duke calling. Ray answered. "Hey." "Ray, how's Mia?" Duke's voice sounded hollow, echoing off concrete walls. "She's good. Shaken but good. How are you?" "Been better, been worse. Lawyer says I'll probably get 3 to 5 years if the judge is lenient. 8 to 10 if he's not." "Duke, you don't have to do this. There's no evidence. No witnesses. It's been 11 years. "I have to," Duke interrupted. "Not for Daniel, not even for Maria. For me. I've been carrying this weight for over a decade. Every time I ride past that guardrail, every time I see a teenage girl on a bike, every time I close my eyes and try to sleep, she's there. Always there. So this is penance. This is peace, or as close as I'll get." Ray heard noise in the background. Guards shouting. Metal doors slamming. "I gotta go," Duke said. "Arraignment's at 9 tomorrow. Will you be there?" "Of course. Bring the club. I want them to see, want them to understand that brotherhood means accountability, not cover-ups. I will. And Ray? Take care of Mia. Hug her every day. Tell her you love her. Don't waste the time I wasted." The line went dead. Ray stood there holding his phone, Duke's words echoing in his head. Don't waste the time. He walked back into Mia's room. Sienna and Marco had left. Mia was lying down now, eyes heavy with exhaustion. "Dad." "Yeah, baby." "When can we go home?" "Doctor says tomorrow morning if everything checks out." "Good. I miss my bed." Ray pulled the chair closer to her bedside. "Mia, I need to tell you something." She opened one eye. "What?" "I'm proud of you. The way you stayed strong down there. The way you kept fighting. Your mom would be proud too." Mia's eyes filled with tears. "I kept thinking about what Mom would do. She was always so brave when she was sick. Never complained. Never gave up. So I tried to be like her." Ray's throat closed. He reached out and took her hand. "You're exactly like her," he whispered. "Brave and strong and kind. Everything good about me comes from her. And everything good about you comes from both of us. I miss her. Me too. Every day." They sat in silence for a moment. "Dad, that thing I said earlier, about the club." "Yeah. I don't want to tell you what to do. You're a grown-up, but I also don't want to lose you. You're all I have left." Ray squeezed her hand. "You're not going to lose me. I promise. Whatever I decide about the club, you come first. Always. Okay? Now get some sleep. Big day tomorrow." Mia closed her eyes. Within minutes, her breathing evened out. Ray sat there watching her sleep, mind racing. His phone buzzed. Group text to all Iron Jackals. "Tank, emergency church meeting tomorrow night. All members required. Vote on club future." Below it, another text. From Marco to all Black Vultures, but Ray was somehow included. Marco. "Same for us. Church tomorrow. Time to decide what we stand for. Both clubs. Same night. Same questions. Move forward or fall apart." Ray texted back to Tank. "I'll be there." Then to Marco. "Good luck tomorrow." Marco. "You too, brother." Brother. A month ago, that word from a vulture would have been an insult, a joke, an impossibility. Now it felt like the only word that made sense. Ray's phone buzzed again. This time a call from an unknown number. He almost didn't answer. "Hello." "Mr. Brenner. This is Detective Sarah Chen with Riverside PD. I'm the lead investigator on your daughter's kidnapping case. Ray sat up straighter. Yes, detective, what can I do for you? I need you to come to the station tomorrow. We need a full statement from you regarding the events of the last 24 hours. Of course. What time? Noon work for you. I'll be there. Good. And Mr. Brenner, I wanted to tell you what you and those bikers did tonight. Both clubs working together. That took guts, and it saved lives. We did what we had to do. Most people don't. Most people call the cops and hope for the best. You took action. You faced down someone who wanted to destroy both your clubs, and you found a way to make peace instead of war. That's not something I see often in this job. Ray didn't know what to say. Anyway, Detective Chen continued, see you tomorrow at noon, and hug your daughter. She's lucky to have you. She hung up. Ray stared at his phone. Lucky. He didn't feel lucky. He felt exhausted, traumatized, confused about everything he thought he knew about loyalty and brotherhood and what it meant to be a good father. But Mia was alive. Sienna was alive. Two clubs that should have torn each other apart instead found common ground. Maybe that was lucky after all. He leaned back in the uncomfortable hospital chair and closed his eyes. Sleep didn't come. Too much adrenaline still coursing through his system. Too many questions without answers. His phone buzzed one more time. Text from church. Duke asked me to tell you something. He said, tell Ray that real brotherhood isn't about wearing the same patch. It's about being willing to take the patch off when it stops meaning what it should. I don't know what that means, but he wanted you to know. Ray read it 3 times. He understood perfectly. The patch, the Iron Jackal's wolf head, the Black Vulture's bird, all of it was supposed to mean something. Brotherhood, loyalty, family. But somewhere along the way, it had become an excuse, a shield, a way to justify bad behavior and protect guilty men. Duke was stripping that away, taking accountability, showing what real brotherhood looked like. And tomorrow night, the club would have to decide if they were willing to do the same. Ray typed back, tell him I understand, and I'll make sure the message gets heard. Church, you speaking at church tomorrow? Ray paused. He'd never spoken at a church meeting before. That was for officers, president, VP, sergeant, at arms. But Duke was in jail, and somebody needed to say what needed saying. Yeah, I'll speak. Church. Good. Club needs to hear it from somebody they trust. See you tomorrow night. Ray pocketed his phone and looked at Mia again. She was sleeping peacefully now. No nightmares yet. Those would come later. But for now, she was safe, warm, alive. That was enough. The sun was fully up when Ray finally dozed off in the chair beside her bed, hands still holding hers, ready to wake up the moment she needed him. Morning came fast. A nurse woke Ray at 7 to check Mia's vitals. Everything looked good. Doctor came by at 8 and cleared her for discharge. By 9, they were in Ray's truck heading home. Mia stared out the window, quiet. Ray didn't push conversation. Sometimes silence was its own kind of healing. They pulled into the driveway of their small house on the east side of town. Ray had bought it right after Sarah died using her life insurance. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, a garage, he'd converted into his personal workshop. Mia went straight to her room without a word. Ray stood in the kitchen trying to remember the last time he'd eaten. Yesterday morning, the day before, his phone rang. Marco. You get Mia home okay? Marco asked. Yeah, she's in her room. Hasn't said much. Same with Sienna. She's been locked in the bathroom for 30 minutes. Won't talk to anyone. Give her time. I know. I don't know how to help her. You can't. Not really. Just be there when she needs you. Marco was quiet for a moment. I'm going to Duke's arraignment. You coming? Ray checked his watch. 10:30. Arraignment was at noon. Police station at noon. He could make both if he hurried. Yeah, meet you there. I'll save you a seat. They hung up. Ray knocked on Mia's door. Baby, I have to go out for a few hours. You going to be okay? No response. He opened the door. Mia was lying on her bed staring at the ceiling. Mia. I'm fine, Dad. Go. You sure? I want to be alone for a while. That okay? It wasn't. Every instinct screamed to stay with her, protect her, never let her out of his sight again. But she needed space, needed to process. Call me if you need anything. Anything at all. I will. Ray grabbed his keys and headed out. The courthouse was downtown, a gray building that looked like every other government structure, lifeless and imposing. Ray found parking and walked inside. Security checkpoint, metal detector. The whole routine. Courtroom 3B. He pushed through the doors and found Marco already there, sitting in the second row. Tank was there too. Smoke, Reaper, Church. Half the Iron Jackals had shown up, and on the other side of the aisle, Razor, Cage, Torch, a dozen Black Vultures, 2 clubs, 1 courtroom, no violence. Ray sat beside Marco. "Lot of people here," Ray said. "Word got out. Duke confessing to Maria's death after 11 years. That's news." The bailiff called for order. Everyone stood as the judge entered. "All rise for the Honorable Judge Patricia Morrison." They sat. Duke was brought in wearing an orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed, escorted by 2 deputies. He looked older, tired, but his eyes were clear. The judge reviewed the charges. Vehicular manslaughter, fleeing the scene of an accident, conspiracy to obstruct justice. "How does the defendant plead?" Duke's lawyer stood. "Guilty, Your Honor, on all counts." A murmur rippled through the courtroom. The judge made notes. "Mr. Carver, you understand that by pleading guilty, you waive your right to a trial." "Yes, Your Honor." "And you understand that the maximum sentence for these charges combined is 15 years in state prison." "I do." "Why are you pleading guilty after 11 years? What changed?" Duke looked at the judge. "I've been running from this for too long. A girl died because of my recklessness. Her family deserved justice. They still do. Better late than never." Judge Morrison studied him. "The victim's family has been notified of these proceedings. Her brother, Daniel Santos, has submitted a statement from his current detention facility. Would you like me to read it?" "Yes, Your Honor." The judge pulled out a paper and read, "Daniel Santos writes, I spent 15 years hating Duke Carver and the Iron Jackals. That hatred consumed me, turned me into something my sister would be ashamed of. Duke is taking responsibility for his actions. I have to take responsibility for mine. I don't forgive him, but I understand that justice and revenge aren't the same thing. I hope he gets the help he needs, and I hope I do too." The courtroom was silent. Judge Morrison set the paper down. "Sentencing will be in 30 days. Until then, Mr. Carver, you'll remain in county custody. Bail is denied given flight risk and severity of charges." The gavel came down. Deputies led Duke away. He looked back, once found Ray in the crowd, and nodded. Ray nodded back. Outside the courthouse, both clubs gathered on the steps. Tank spoke first. "So that's it. Our president's going to prison." "For doing the right thing," Church added. "That counts for something." "Does it?" Cage asked. "He's still gone. Both clubs just lost their leaders in 24 hours. "Then we elect new ones," Marco said. "Or we dissolve the clubs, or we rebuild. Those are our options." "What do you want to do?" Razor asked him. Marco looked at the Vultures, then at the Jackals. "I want to build something worth being part of," he said. "Not a club that protects killers, not a brotherhood that values loyalty over morality. Something real, something our kids could be proud of." "You think that's possible?" Tank asked. "I don't know, but I'm willing to try. Who's with me?" Slowly hands went up. Razor, Cage, Torch, most of the Vultures. Tank looked at the Jackals. "Church, your senior member, what do you think?" Church was quiet for a long moment. "I think Duke did something today that took more guts than anything I've seen in 40 years of riding. He owned his mistakes, faced consequences. That's the kind of man I want to ride with. If we're rebuilding the club, we rebuild it in his image. Accountability, honor, real brotherhood." More hands went up. Smoke, Reaper, others. Ray Tank turned to him. You've been quiet. What's your vote? Ray thought about Mia sleeping in her hospital bed, about Duke in an orange jumpsuit, taking responsibility for an 11-year-old crime, about Daniel sobbing for a sister he'd never get back. I vote we rebuild, Ray said, but we do it right. New bylaws, new standards. We kick out anyone who can't meet them. We hold each other accountable. And we make damn sure that what happened to Maria never happens again. All in favor, Church called. Every hand went up. Then it's settled, Marco said. Both clubs. New foundation, built on the right things. They stood there on those courthouse steps, 93 iron jackals and 80 black vultures no longer enemies. Not quite friends yet either, but something new, something better. Ray checked his watch, 11:45. He had 15 minutes to get to the police station. I gotta go, he said. Police need a statement. Want company, Tank asked. Nah, I got this. Ray headed to his truck. His phone buzzed. Mia. Dad, there's reporters outside the house. What should I do? Ray's blood went cold. He typed back, don't answer the door. Don't talk to anyone. I'm coming home. He called Detective Chen. Detective, this is Ray Brenner. We have a problem. Detective Chen answered on the second ring. Brenner, what's wrong? Reporters at my house. My daughter's alone, and they're camping outside. She's terrified. I'll send a unit right now. Give me your address. Ray rattled it off while gunning his truck through downtown traffic. Red light. He ran it. Another. He ran that too. Units are on the way, Chen said. ETA 5 minutes. Where are you been? 10 minutes out, maybe less. Drive safe. We've got this. Ray hung up and pushed the accelerator harder. His knuckles were white on the steering wheel. After everything, the kidnapping, the rescue, the hospital, now Mia had to deal with vultures of a different kind. His phone rang again. Marco. I heard. Sienna's got the same problem. Media outside her school, her house following her mom to work. This is insane. It's a story. 2 rival clubs saving kids together. They smell ratings. Marco's voice went hard. I'm calling in favors. Got a lawyer friend who handles harassment cases. Want me to loop you in? Yeah, anything to get them away from Mia. On it. And Ray? We're posting guards. Both clubs. Your house, my house, anywhere the girls might be. Nobody gets close without going through us first. You sure that's a lot of manpower? These kids survived a psychopath with a grudge. They're not surviving the media circus too. Not on my watch. Ray felt something loosen in his chest. Thanks, Marco. That's what brothers do. The line went dead. Ray pulled onto his street and counted 6 news vans. Cameras, reporters with microphones. A police cruiser was already there, 2 officers creating a perimeter. He parked in the driveway and walked straight to the front door, ignoring the shouted questions. Mr. Brenner, how does it feel to have your daughter back? Is it true? 93 bikers broke into a warehouse. Can you comment on Duke Carver's arrest? Ray slammed the door behind him. Mia was sitting on the couch, knees pulled to her chest, staring at the window where shadows of reporters moved across the curtains. Dad. He sat beside her and pulled her into a hug. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't think they'd come here. They were knocking on the door, calling my phone. Someone even tried to look through my bedroom window. Ray's vision went red. Who? Which one? I don't know. Some guy with a camera. Ray stood and walked to the front door. He yanked it open and pointed at a cameraman on his lawn. You. Yeah, you. Get off my property before I call the cops. Sir, we just want to ask. I don't care what you want. My daughter's been through hell. You want a statement, call my lawyer. You have a lawyer? I will in about 5 minutes. Now get off my lawn. The cameraman backed up but didn't leave the street. Ray slammed the door again. His phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. What? Mr. Brenner, this is Patricia Nguyen from CBS News. I'd love to schedule an interview. Ray hung up. It rang again. Different number. Mr. Brenner, this is... He hung up and turned off his phone. Mia was crying now. silent tears streaming down her face. "I just want it to stop," she whispered. "All of it. The reporters, the questions, the nightmares. I want to go back to 2 days ago when everything was normal." Ray sat beside her again and took her hand. "I know, but we can't go back. We can only go forward. What if forward is worse? Then we face it together." A knock at the door. Different this time, gentle. Ray looked through the peephole. Tank and Smoke stood there, both wearing their vests. He opened the door. "We're here to help," Tank said. "Marco called, said you needed security." Not asking." Smoke pushed past him. "We're posting guys outside, front and back. Nobody gets close without our say-so." The reporters. "Already handled. We had a conversation with them about respecting private property. Very polite conversation." Ray looked outside. The news vans were packing up, cameras coming down, reporters getting in vehicles and leaving. "What did you say to them?" "That if they didn't leave immediately, we'd file harassment charges and share the footage of them trespassing with their employers." Tank smiled. Amazing how fast people move when their jobs are on the line. Within 10 minutes, the street was clear. Ray watched from the window as Smoke and Tank positioned themselves on the front porch. 2 more jackals pulled up and took the back. Mia came to stand beside him. "Are they staying all night?" "Looks like it." "Why would they do that?" "Because that's what family does." She looked up at him. "I thought they were just your biker club." "They are. But family isn't just blood. Sometimes it's the people who show up when you need them most." Mia was quiet for a moment. Then, "Dad, about what I said before, about leaving the club." "Yeah. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the club isn't bad. Maybe it just had some bad people in it. And now we're fixing that." "Are you really?" "We're trying. Both clubs. New rules, new standards. No more protecting guys who hurt people." Mia nodded slowly. "Okay. Then you can stay." Ray felt tears prick his eyes. "You sure?" "Yeah. But if they ever make me deal with reporters again, I'm changing my mind." He laughed despite everything. "Deal." His landline rang. Ray had forgotten he even had a landline. He answered. "Hello." "Ray, it's church. Emergency church meeting moved up to tonight, 7 p.m. Can you make it?" Ray checked the clock. 4:30. "Yeah, I'll be there." "Good, because we need to vote on something important." "What?" "You'll see. Just be there." Church hung up. Ray turned to Mia. "I have to go out tonight. Club meeting. You okay staying here with Tank and Smoke?" "Do I have a choice?" "Not really." "Then I guess I'm okay with it." She paused. "Will you be gone long?" "Couple hours, maybe." "Okay. But Dad, be careful." "Always am." "No, you're not. You rode into a warehouse full of armed kidnappers last night." "Fair point. I'll be more careful." She hugged him. Ray held on longer than normal, breathing in the scent of her shampoo, strawberry, and vanilla, same kind Sarah used to use. 6:30 came fast. Ray changed into clean clothes, made sure Mia had dinner, and headed out. Tank was still on the porch. "Where you headed?" "Church meeting. You coming?" "Nah, I'm on Mia duty. Smoke's going, though. Tell her I'll be back by 9. "Will do." Ray climbed on his Harley and fired it up. The rumble felt good, familiar, like coming home after a long trip. He rode to the clubhouse with Smoke behind him. Other bikes joined along the way. By the time they pulled into the parking lot, 40 guys had shown up. Inside, the atmosphere was different. Tense. Uncertain. Church stood at the head of the room. "All right, everyone here. Good, let's get started." The doors closed. "We all know why we're here," Church continued. "Duke's in jail. Our president confessed to manslaughter and obstruction. He's looking at serious time, which means we need new leadership." Murmurs around the room. "I'm too old for this job," Church said. "I've been riding since most of you were in diapers. I've seen clubs rise and fall, and I'm telling you right now what we do in the next hour will determine if the Iron Jackals survive or die." He let that sink in. "We got 3 options. 1, dissolve the club. Turn in our patches. Go our separate ways. 2. Elect new leadership from the old guard. Keep doing what we've been doing. 3. Rebuild from the ground up. New bylaws, new standards, new everything. What's Duke want? Reaper asked. Duke wants option 3. He sent a message from county. Said if we're not willing to change, we should just end it now. Half measures will kill us slower than dissolution. Ray stood. I vote option 3. Everyone turned to look at him. Ray, you're not an officer, someone said. You don't get a vote yet. Then make me one, Ray shot back. Duke asked me to speak today. Said the club needs to hear from someone they trust. So here it is. We rebuild or we're done. No middle ground. Smoke stood. I'm with Ray. We rebuild. Reaper stood. Same. One by one men stood. 40 guys on their feet. Unanimous. Church smiled. All right then. Motion to rebuild passes. Now we need to elect officers. President VP Sergeant at Arms Road Captain. I nominate Ray for president, Smoke said. Ray's head snapped around. What? No. I've only been patched 8 years. And you've shown more leadership in 24 hours than some of us have in 20 years, Church interrupted. Duke trusts you. The club trusts you. I trust you. I second the nomination, Reaper said. All in favor. Hands went up. All of them. Ray stood there stunned. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Church said. Because we need you. Ray looked around the room. These men, his brothers, were putting their faith in him, trusting him to lead them into something new. Yes, he finally said, but on one condition. We do this right. No more cover-ups. No more protecting guys who hurt innocents. We hold each other accountable or we don't ride together. Deal. Deal. The room echoed. Church pulled out a gavel and brought it down. Motion passes. Ray Brenner is president of the Iron Jackals Motorcycle Club. Now let's talk bylaws. They spent the next 2 hours hammering out new rules. Background checks for prospects. Zero tolerance for violence against civilians. Mandatory charity work. Cooperation with law enforcement when appropriate. It was radical. Revolutionary. Everything a traditional MC wasn't. And every single member voted yes. By 9 p.m. they were done. Ray stood at the front of the room wearing Duke's old vest. Church had retrieved it from evidence that morning. It fit perfectly. One more thing, Ray said. The Black Vultures are doing the same thing tonight. Rebuilding. New leadership. New standards. Marco and I talked. We're proposing something that's never been done before. He paused. An alliance. Formal. Written. Both clubs working together. Sharing resources. Backing each other up. No more territory disputes. No more feuds. Just brotherhood. The room went silent. You want us to ally with the vultures? Someone asked. I want us to ally with good men who are trying to do the right thing. Happens they wear different patches. But after what we went through together, I trust them more than I trust some of our own past members. Church stood. I vote yes. We ally with the vultures. More hands went up. Not everyone. Some guys looked uncomfortable, but enough. Motion passes, Ray said. I'll reach out to Marco tomorrow. Draw up the alliance terms. His phone buzzed. Text from Marco. Just got elected president of the Vultures. First order of business alliance with the Jackals. You in? Ray smiled. Just proposed the same thing. Club voted yes. Then let's make history. Tomorrow, neutral ground. We sign the treaty. Whereupon? The warehouse where it all started. Full circle. Ray thought about it. The place where Mia and Sienna were held. Where 2 clubs almost went to war. Where everything changed. Perfect. Noon tomorrow. See you there, Mr. President. Ray pocketed his phone and looked at his club. His brothers. His responsibility now. Meeting adjourned. Get home safe. Hug your families. Tomorrow we make history. They filed out. Ray stayed behind, sitting alone in the empty clubhouse. His phone rang. Duke calling from county jail. Heard you got my job, Duke said. You hear everything in there. Church visited this afternoon. Told me the whole plan. I'm proud of you, Ray. Don't be proud yet. I have no idea what I'm doing. Nobody does their first day, but you'll figure it out. You got good instincts. Trust them. Duke, Ray's voice caught. Thank you for everything. For showing up when Mia was taken. For taking responsibility for Maria. For trusting me with this. You earned it. Now don't screw it up. Ray laughed. I'll try not to. And Ray, tell Mia her honorary uncle says hi. And that I'm sorry she got dragged into this mess. She knows. She asked about you yesterday. Wanted to know if you were okay. Kid's got a good heart, like her mom. Yeah, she does. They talked for a few more minutes before a guard told Duke his time was up. Ray sat in the silence for another moment, then headed home. Tank was still on the porch when Ray pulled up. How'd it go? Tank asked. I'm president now. Tank's eyebrows shot up. No kidding. No kidding. You're my sergeant at arms if you want the job. Hell yes, I want it. What are we doing first? Alliance with the Vultures. Tomorrow at noon. Tank whistled. Bold move. Only move that makes sense. We're stronger together. Agreed. I'll spread the word. Make sure everyone knows to show up. Ray went inside. The house was quiet. He checked Mia's room. She was asleep, curled up with her old stuffed bear, the one Sarah had given her when she was 5. Ray pulled the blanket up over her shoulders and kissed her forehead. Sleep well, baby girl. Tomorrow's a new day. He went to his own room but couldn't sleep. Too much adrenaline, too many thoughts. He pulled out his phone and scrolled through photos. Sarah's smile. Mia's first day of kindergarten. The day he got his patch. Duke at a club barbecue. Marco's niece Sienna at her quinceañera. Lives connected in ways nobody could have predicted. A text from Marco came through at midnight. Can't sleep, you... Same. Thinking about tomorrow. Me too. This is going to change everything. For the better. Hope so. My club's not all on board yet. Some old-timers think I'm betraying tradition. Same here. But tradition built on blood feuds and cover-ups isn't worth keeping. Agreed. See you at noon. Bring your whole club. I want everyone to see this. Already planned on it. Ray finally dozed off around 2 a.m. Morning came too fast. Mia was already up making breakfast. Since when do you cook? Ray asked. Since yesterday. I decided I need to be more independent, in case something happens again. Ray's heart ached. Mia. I'm not being dramatic, I'm being realistic. Bad things happen. People get taken. I need to know how to take care of myself. She was right. He hated it, but she was right. Okay, but you're 12. Don't grow up too fast. Too late. They ate breakfast in silence. Scrambled eggs and toast. Simple. Normal. At 11, Ray got ready to leave. Where are you going? Mia asked. Important club meeting. We're signing an alliance with the Black Vultures. The guys who hate you. Used to hate us. Things change. Can I come? Ray started to say no, then stopped. Why not? This was history. She deserved to see it. Yeah, but you stay in the truck. This is club business. Deal. They drove to the warehouse together. Ray's Harley had a passenger seat he'd installed for when Mia wanted to ride. She climbed on behind him and wrapped her arms around his waist. The warehouse looked different in daylight, less menacing. Just an old building. Both clubs were already there. 93 jackals on one side, 80 vultures on the other. No weapons visible, no tension, just men waiting to see what happened next. Marco stood in the center with Razor beside him. Ray walked up with Tank. Ready, Marco asked. Ready. They'd spent the morning drafting terms. Simple, direct. 1, no violence between clubs. 2, shared resources when needed. 3, joint charity work and community service. 4, zero tolerance for crimes against innocents. 5, mutual accountability. It was printed on a single sheet of paper. Both presidents signed it. Their VPs witnessed. Marco raised his voice. As of today, the Iron Jackals and Black Vultures are no longer enemies. We're allies, brothers. And anyone who has a problem with that can turn in their patch right now. Nobody moved. Ray spoke next. This doesn't erase the past. Doesn't fix what was broken, but it's a start. A chance to build something better than what we had. Sienna appeared from one of the Vulture's trucks. Then Mia climbed out of Ray's. The two girls walked toward each other and hugged. The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. Church stepped forward. I've been riding for 40 years, seen a lot of clubs rise and fall, and I can tell you right now this is the smartest thing I've ever seen bikers do. We're stronger together, and if we hold to these principles, we'll still be riding when our grandkids are grown. Applause broke out. Both clubs, together. Marco extended his hand to Ray. To new beginnings. Ray took it. To brotherhood. The handshake lasted longer this time. More than ceremony, more than politics. Real. Cameras clicked. Someone had invited press. Ray suspected church. The media loved this story. Enemies becoming allies. Bikers doing good. Let them have it, Ray thought. Let the world see that change is possible. The meeting broke up after an hour. Plans were made. Joint runs, community events, food drives. Ray and Mia rode home together. That was cool, Mia said, seeing everyone get along. Yeah, it was. Think it'll last? I don't know, but I'm going to try my hardest to make sure it does. Good, because I like Sienna, and it'd be weird if our clubs went back to hating each other. Ray smiled. Can't have that. That evening, Ray got a call from Detective Chen. Good news. Daniel Santos, Snake, and Axel all pled guilty. No trial. Your daughter won't have to testify. Relief flooded through him. Thank God. Daniel's looking at 20 years. Snake and Axel got 25 each. They're not getting out anytime soon. What about Duke? Sentencing is in 2 weeks. Based on his cooperation and the circumstances, prosecution's recommending 5 years with parole eligibility after 3 years. Ray could live with that. Thanks for the update, Detective. One more thing. I heard about the alliance between the clubs. News travels fast. It does in this town. And for what it's worth, I think it's a good thing. We could use more positive community involvement from both clubs. We're working on it. Good. Keep working. She hung up. Ray sat on his porch watching the sun set. Tank and Smoke had gone home. The reporters were gone. The crisis was over. But the work was just beginning. Building a new club, maintaining an alliance, raising a daughter who'd been through trauma, honoring Sarah's memory while moving forward. It was a lot. But looking at Mia through the window, she was laughing at something on her phone. Ray knew it was worth it. His phone buzzed one last time. Group text from church to all Iron Jackals. First official club event under new leadership community bike safety course for kids. Next Saturday. All members expected to volunteer. This is who we are now. Responses flooded in. Affirmatives. Enthusiasm. Pride. Marco texted separately. Vultures are doing the same thing. Different location. We should combine efforts. Make it bigger. Agreed. Let's plan it tomorrow. You know what, Ray? I think we're actually going to pull this off. Yeah, I think we are. Ray put his phone away and walked inside. Mia looked up. Everything okay? Everything's perfect. Liar, everything's a mess. Okay, fine. Everything's a beautiful mess that we're going to fix together. She smiled. That's better. Ray sat beside her on the couch. They watched TV together, some sitcom neither of them really cared about, but it was normal, peaceful, exactly what they needed. Later that night, after Mia went to bed, Ray pulled out Sarah's photo, the one he kept on his nightstand. I think you'd be proud, he told her. Of Mia, of me, of everything we're trying to build. I wish you were here to see it. The photo didn't answer. It never did. But somehow Ray felt like she heard him anyway. He climbed into bed and actually slept. No nightmares, no panic, just rest. 3 weeks later, the community bike safety event happened. 200 kids showed up. Both clubs teaching safety, handing out helmets showing kids that bikers weren't scary, they were neighbors. Mia and Sienna worked the registration table together. Best friends now. bonded by trauma, but choosing to build something better from it. The local news covered it. Positive story this time. No sensationalism. Just two clubs doing good work. Duke's sentencing came and went. 5 years with parole after 3. He took it with grace, told the court he accepted responsibility, and asked the judge to remember Maria Santos not as a victim of his crime, but as a 14-year-old girl who deserved to live. The judge wept. So did half the courtroom. Ray visited Duke in prison every month, brought updates on the club, on Mia, on the Alliance. "You're doing good work," Duke told him during one visit. "Better than I ever did. I learned from the best." "Nah, you learned from my mistakes. That's even better." By the end of the year, the Iron Jackals and Black Vultures had become models for what motorcycle clubs could be. Community partners, charity leaders, brothers who held each other accountable. Other clubs started reaching out, asking how they did it, wanting to replicate the model. Ray and Marco became unlikely spokesmen, giving talks, writing articles, showing that change was possible if you were willing to do the work. Mia thrived in therapy. The nightmares faded. The fear lessened. She started riding on the back of Ray's bike again, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. One Saturday 2 years after the kidnapping, Mia asked Ray a question. "Dad, when I turn 18, can I get a bike?" Ray's first instinct was to say no, to protect her, to keep her safe. But looking at her 16 now, strong and confident and brave, he realized she didn't need protecting anymore. "Yeah," he said, "when you turn 18, we'll get you a bike, and I'll teach you to ride. Promise. Promise." She hugged him. "Thanks, Dad, for everything, for saving me, for building something good, for showing me what real brotherhood looks like. That's what fathers do. No, that's what good men do. And you're one of the best." Ray held his daughter and thought about everything that had led them here. The kidnapping, the alliance, the rebuilding. 93 bikers rode into hell to save one girl and found the truth that saved them all. Not just truth about who took the kids or why. Truth about who they were, who they wanted to be, what brotherhood really meant. And in that truth, they found redemption. The Iron Jackals and Black Vultures were no longer clubs built on territory and violence. They were families built on accountability and service. That night, Ray stood in his garage looking at his Harley, the bike that had carried him through grief after Sarah died, through the terror of Mia's kidnapping, through the rebuilding of everything he thought he knew about brotherhood. He ran his hand over the seat and smiled. Tomorrow there'd be another community event, another chance to do good, another opportunity to show the world that change was possible. But tonight, Ray Brenner, president of the Iron Jackals, MC, father, brother, friend, allowed himself a moment of peace. The journey wasn't over. It never really would be. But for the first time in years, Ray knew they were heading in the right direction. And that was enough. Because 93 engines had roared into the darkness that terrible night, enemies riding together to save 2 children. What they found wasn't just the girls or justice or revenge. They found something far more valuable, the strength to rebuild, the courage to change, and the brotherhood that comes, not from wearing the same patch, but from standing together when everything falls apart. And in the end, that brotherhood forged in fire, tempered by truth and built on accountability, became the legacy that would outlive them all.